Grandma again. Are you ready for Grandma's story time? You know the book we're reading, don't you? Enid Blyton, The Adventures of the Wishing Chair. We've read lots of chapters. I think we might be halfway through this book. Put on your glasses, Grandma. I think we're up to chapter 14. This one is called The Spinning House. Can your house spin? Mine can't either. Let's find out. The Spinning House. It was most annoying not being able to see the wishing chair. The children kept forgetting where it was and falling over it. Oh dear, groaned Peter, picking himself up for the 4th time. I really can't bear this chair being invisible. I keep walking into it and bumping myself. I'll tie a ribbon on it, said Molly. Then we shall see the ribbon in the air and we'll know the chair is there. Oh, that's a good idea, said Chinky. You always think of a good idea, Molly. So do I, said Peter. I say, how queer that ribbon looks by itself in the air. We can see it, but we can't see the chair it's tied on. People would stare if they came in here and saw the ribbon. It certainly looked funny. It stuck there in mid-air, and it did act as a warning to the children and Chinky that they must be careful not to walk into the invisible chair. It saved them many a bump. I've been asking the fairies how we can get the chair visible again, said Chinky the next day. They say there is a funny old witch who lives in the little spinning house in Jiffy Wood, who is very, very clever at making things visible or invisible. So if we fly there next time the chair grows wings, we may be able to have it put right. But how shall we know when it grows its wings if we can't see them? Said Molly. Oh, I never thought of that, said Chinky. I know, said Peter. Let's tear up little bits of paper and put them around the legs of the chair. Then when its wings grow, the little bits will fly about in the air in the draft that the wings make when they're flapping. We shall see them moving and know it's time to go. The children tore up little bits of paper and put them on the floor near the legs of the chair. Really, it does look funny, said Molly. A ribbon balanced in mid-air and bits of paper below on the floor. Mother would think us very untidy if she came in. Let's play tiddlywinks now, said Peter. I'll get out the cup and counters. Soon the 3 of them were playing tiddlywinks on the floor. Molly flipped her counters into the cup very cleverly and won, just as Chinky gave a shout. Look! Those little bits of paper are fluttering in the air. The chair must have grown its wings. Molly and Peter turned around to look, and sure enough, the scraps of paper they had put on the floor were all dancing up and down as if a wind was blowing them. The children could feel a draught too, and knew that once again the wishing chair had grown its red wings. That was a good idea of yours, Chinky, said Peter. Boys have good ideas as well as girls. I can see. Come on, let's get into the chair and see if it will fly to Jiffy Wood to the old witches. They climbed onto the chair. It was really very strange climbing onto something they couldn't see. They could only feel. Chinky sat at the back as usual, and the children squeezed onto the seat. Can you see them there, sitting? They're up in the sky. Go to Jiffy Wood, to the little spinning house, Chinky said to the chair. It rose up into the air, flew out the door, and was high up before the children could say another word. They must have looked very queer sitting in a chair that couldn't be seen. It was raining. Molly wished they'd bought an umbrella. Tell the chair to fly above the clouds, Chinky, she said. It's the clouds that drop the rain on us. If we fly beyond them, we shan't get wet because there won't be any rain. Fly higher than the clouds, chair, said Chinky. The chair rose higher and higher. It flew right through the misty grey clouds and came out above them. The sun was shining brightly. It made the other side of the clouds quite dazzling to look at. This is better, said Molly. The sun will dry our clothes. They flew on and in the sunshine above the great white clouds. Then they suddenly flew downwards again, and the children saw that they were over a thick wood. Jiffy wood, said Chinky, peering down. We shall soon be there. Down they flew and down, and at last they came to a little clearing. The chair flew down to it and came to rest on some grass. A little way off was a most peculiar house. It had one leg, like a short pole, and it spun round and round and round on this leg. It did not go very fast, and the children could see it had a door on one side and a window on each of the other three sides. It had one chimney that was smoking away merrily, but the smoke was green, a sign that a witch lived in that house. Well, here we are, said Chinky, getting out of the chair. I'd better carry the chair, I think. I don't like leaving it here where we can't see it. We wouldn't know where it was if anyone came along and untied the ribbon. Is the old witch a fierce sort of person? Asked Molly. No, she's a good sort, said Chinky. She will do all she can to help us, I know. You needn't be afraid. She won't harm us. My grandmother knew her very well. How are we going to get into the house? Asked Peter, looking at the strange house going round and round. It's like getting on a roundabout that's going. Our mother always says that's a dangerous thing to do. Well, we'll try and get the witch to stop the house spinning round for a minute so that we can hop in with the chair, said Chinky. Come on, I've got the chair. Off they went towards the queer little house. As it went round, the smoke went round too and made little green rings. It was very peculiar. Witch Snippet! Witch Snippet! called Chinky. Stop your house and let us in! Someone opened a window and looked out. It was an old woman with a red shawl on and a pretty white cap. She had a hooky nose and a pair of large spectacles over her eyes. She seemed surprised to see them. Wait a minute, she called. I'll stop the house, but you'll have to be very quick getting in the door because it won't stop for long. The house slowed down. It went round more and more slowly, and at last it stopped. The door was facing the children, and the witch opened it and beckoned them to come in. Molly shot inside, so did Peter. Chinky was trying to get in with the chair too, when suddenly the house began to spin around fast again. Poor Chinky fell out of the doorway with the chair. Molly and Peter couldn't help laughing. He looked so funny. The witch stopped the house again, and then Peter helped Chinky inside. They put the wishing chair down, and then he turned to greet the witch. Good morning, she said with a nice smile. And what can I do for you? Oh, that's the end. That was a very quick chapter. Come back. I think we need to read another one. Bye-bye.